Conversations with Celena, the podcast where we discover inspiration, motivation, and information to help you live your best life. I'm your host, Celena, aka Sunshine, and each week we'll dive into conversations with guests who share their testimonies, insights, and advice. We'll explore topics that uplift, encourage, and empower you to be the best version of yourself you can be. So tune in and let's have some fun while we explore all that life has to offer. Keep it smiling, sunshine, and let's go. Hey, sunshine. Hey, sunshine. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Celena. I am so happy that you decided to join us on this Friday evening. I am your host, Sunshine. Well, really, I'm Celena, but aka Sunshine. Everyone calls me Sunshine, so I have truly adopted that new name, and it just makes me happy that you all see me as Sunshine. This is my baby on here tonight, y'all. So, woo! This has been a long time coming. He has accomplished so much, and I'm just so happy that he said yes to coming on Conversation with Celena just to talk about his journey. And we pray that it blesses someone and encourages you on tonight, because that is the main focus of Conversation with Celena. It's inspiration, motivation, and information. So by the time you get off of this live, hopefully you will have all three: inspiration, motivation, and information. So I'm going to introduce to you tonight our guest, our special guest. His name is Brandon Butler. He was born in Slidell, Louisiana, to Michael and Rhonda Butler on June 30th, 1997. He moved back to Picayune after his father retired from the Marine Corps and started playing soccer in 2012. He won a district championship as player in 2012 and captained the team in 2014 and 2015. He played club soccer, for Gulf Coast United. He played for Hines Community College. He played for Southwest, looks like it, and just been playing soccer. Just loves soccer. So I can understand that, because y'all know I am the soccer mom. Well, Miss Butler is probably the soccer mom, but yeah. I'm next in line. He also, let's see. He attended the University of Southern Mississippi until he himself went to the Marine Corps. During that time, guess what? He got married. He has a beautiful wife named Amy, now Amy Butler. They have two dogs, Kyle and Finn. And when I tell you they got some big dogs, them some big bad boys. You hear me? Maybe not bad, but they are big.
Oh, yeah.
Then he, continued his military career for 4 years after getting out as an E4 corporal. During that time, he served as a squad leader and section leader for 3rd Battalion and 8 Marines Kilo Company Assault Section. That's a tongue twister right there.
Oh, yeah.
After leaving the Marine Corps, he started to coach the Picayune Memorial High School. So Coach Britton was there, and then he took over after Coach Britton, and he is the men's soccer team at Picayune Memorial High School. And let's see. I lost my place. And then for the next 2 years, he worked as an assistant for the men's team, while also working with the girls' high school team and junior high. My goodness, no wonder I could never get in touch with Brandon Butler. He also was the Hattiesburg football coach. And let's see, child, we're gonna have to go over this. But
that's fine. Yeah, take your time. That's a lot.
Let me keep going, because you got some more stuff that's down here. So where I want to go. Let's see. He eventually accepted the position as head coach of Our Lady Academy, that's OLA, in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. And then he became the head coach of Picayune. And then he left OLA. Since taking over the Maroon Tide, they have a record of 31 wins and 14 losses. And just recently, this is why I reached out to him, because they just recently received their first district championship since 2012. And so that is truly, truly an accomplishment. Last year, he started coaching at PRC College, that's Pearl River Community College, working as the assistant coach as well as the goalkeeper coach. They won Region 23 tournament state as well as the Gulf South District tournament and represented Mississippi at the National Junior College Athletic Association National Tournament in Phoenix, Arizona. Our PRCC staff received the Mississippi Association of Community College Conference Staff of the Year Award during my time of coaching. He also earned a National D and National C coaching certification through the United States Soccer Federation and is working on qualifying to be eligible for the B course. Now, he's going to have to explain all the A, B, C, D, and E, F, G to us, but that is a lot of accomplishments. And I want to add that he also just graduated from the University of Southern Mississippi. And I am so proud of him. I feel like his chocolate mama. He is one of the kids that I did not run away because Sean and Joshua's friends did not stick around after dealing with me. They're like, adios, sir. I cannot deal with your mama. But Brandon has always been a soldier for real. He's stuck in there. He loves my children, and I just love him so much because he cares for not only my kids, but me as well. So it's just a blessing to be attached to the Butler family. So if you know, you know.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon. So welcome. That was a whole mouthful of a biography, but I loved it.
Yeah, no. I apologize for making you talk that long. I didn't realize how much I actually put that. I just kind of started typing and one thing led to another.
That's good. I could have shortened it up, but once I started going, I'm like, I want to say this and I want to say that. Now, especially because you have to celebrate you. Did you tell Mr. Butler and Miss Butler you was going to be on here tonight?
Yes, I did. I sent it to them, so they should be
rolling in.
They should be coming in. So it should be
good. So tell us a little bit about you. I know I read a lot, but if you had to introduce yourself, what would you say about the Brandon Butler?
Yeah, so a lot of it is like you said. I graduated here from Picayune Memorial High School in 2015. After that, I was getting looks to go and play college ball in most of Mississippi and then a lot in Massachusetts as well. Ended up turning that down, decided to go focus on my education. So I went to USM for a semester. I had a very difficult time as a student at that time. I think I was a bit immature. And one thing led to another. I ended up joining the Marine Corps, served 4 years, got out, come back to Picayune where, like you said, Britton was still the head coach and he took me on as an assistant. And for that, I'm, forever grateful to him for. And being able to sit and work under him for 3-4 years and then also helping out underneath the girls side kind of shaped me into the coach that I am now. And then like I said, during that time I started working on my national license through US Soccer and just trying to be more established and help grow and learn not only as a person but of course as a coach. And then started coaching club with the high school after I got accepted as the head coach at the high school position. And then just this year, started working with the college team at Pearl River Community College. And it's just been an absolute blast.
Well, that's an amazing thing. And, with the leadership, like Britain giving you the opportunity and then having the opportunity with the Hattiesburg Football Club and then PRCC. I mean, your portfolio just expand. Like it only takes one. It takes one person to give you that opportunity and it just kind of continues to roll and you just learn what you love. I know you always love soccer and you probably always saw yourself as becoming the soccer coach, but you just didn't know how it was going to all play out.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of 100% accurate. To be fair, is when the first season I took over was actually not supposed to be the first season I took over, if I'm being honest. And I know that kind of might make not much sense, but the plan was that season Britton was going to stay one more year, and he spoke with me about it, and there was the job position open up in OLA. He said, "Hey, I've talked to the head coach there. He's looking for someone to come in." He said, "I've recommended you." So I went down there, I applied for the job there. I actually got accepted, and I was kind of getting the ball rolling. And the next day, Britton's like, "Hey," he's like, "Do you just want to stay here?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, I'll go now." He's like, "I'll help you with the transitional period and stuff." He's like, "But," he told me, he's like, "I think you're ready now." He's like, it wouldn't make much sense to send you out to somewhere to come back in a year." He's like, "You just want to transition." So I had to call LA back, and I was like, "Hey, I know I've just accepted this job, but situations change, kind of like you said, being able to give back to the community, right?" I played for Britain, I played at Picayune, and I couldn't see myself passing up the opportunity to coach where I've played and coach a team that I have so much time devoted into.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's that's more or less how that one come to be. And like you said, Britain is kind of like this catalyst to my coaching career. He's helped jumpstart it, and as a mentor and a friend, it's definitely been he's helped me big time.
Yeah, yeah. He's a mess, but he definitely he would not be Britain if he was not a mess.
Well, I text him all the time. Especially like in season, I'm always running, "Hey, let me pick your brain on something." And there was a couple games this season. I'm sitting in the locker room getting ready for a game, and all of a sudden, here comes Brenton walking in. I'm like, "Who is?" Like, I just see a random guy walk in, but then I'm like, "Oh, it's Brenton." Like, I didn't know he was coming by, and nor did he have to. And he still, checks in, and he checks on the team, and looks off after me, and I definitely appreciate it. So, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, it's he kind of catapulted my career and gave me an opportunity. And my mindset is, once you get that opportunity, run with it.
You got to run with it. You got to
Yep.
run with it. So, how did you feel about coming back from the Marine Corps? Was that a big adjustment? Like, I know when you go through the basic training and you've been there and like
Yeah.
you've gotten used to being a soldier, then you got to come back and become a civilian again. How was that transition for you?
It was easy and hard at the same time. The day to day was definitely it's always much more different than what I was used to for the 4 years in the Marine Corps I spent. But coming back home to people like you and Sean and JT, and already having a well established kind of tight knit group of people made it that much easier coming back to. Um, Really, I found myself struggling most is just going back to being a student, because at the time I was what 20, 21, 22, I think 22, and I'm back in my freshman year of college now with people who are my sister's age, 17 and 18.
Oh
And
my goodness.
I had done so much in that 4-year period where it's kind of it mentally and physically matured me compared to these young, just out of high school kids. So I had a hard time dealing with that. But as time goes, kind of Marine Corps bravado and all that fades, and then you just go back to, like, add the Marine Corps to me feels like a lifetime ago, and it's what, at this point, you know, what, 4.5 years. So
Those years passed by so fast because it didn't
hmm
even seem like you had been gone for 4 years and then being out. Now that seems longer to
yeah,
me.
yeah,
The
and
being out, yeah.
that's kind of the I was thinking about it today. So uh the infantry, your MOS, so your job is there's a DODIC with numbers, and O3 is the designated numbers to an infantry, and then the next two. So I was an O351. That is your actual job. So it's infantry and then whatever. So during March, we will typically say, "Oh, it's infantry month." So there's certain days where, like, obviously the month doesn't get up to 51, but you'll have O311 day, which is just infantrymen. But today is the 8th, so March 8th is 038, so 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines. So that's kind of I set posted something today, and I've talked to a bunch of guys I was in with and just checking up on each other, and so it's definitely a different lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. And but then you meet people that like you have lasting friendships with. Like you
Yep.
say, y'all are checking on one another, whether they're still in or some that's out.
Yeah.
Everyone just kind of they're in different phases of their life. And, you and Amy, y'all are
Hmm.
just like at a point where it takes most people your age years to get to. You all have you all have already done that and got that t-shirt, passed
Yeah,
that course and on to the next. And so I can imagine what it's like to, be with your friends, and they're
yeah,
all at different stages and stuff.
yeah. No, and that's one of my really good friends in the Marine Corps, Alex Gatehouse. He like it's so funny how while you're in, everyone's doing the exact same job. You're waking up, you see every single guy every single day for anywhere between 12 to 15 to 3 weeks at a time, and you see all these guys and you know the ins and outs of these people, and then you get out and everyone's jobs are just like you would never expect people to do things. And Alex, I love this man to death. He's a private pilot now, and so we'll call each other. And I was playing golf Sunday, and he called me and, hey, how you doing? And just 2 3 minute quick conversation, but it was just you checking in, seeing what each other's up to, and then hey, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, it's just really hats off to you and to Amy, because
Yes.
y'all are just, how do they say it, mature well beyond your years. That's really how it is. And the best thing about it is you're in the mentoring, and she is as well, because
Yeah.
she's a teacher, you're a coach, and you just constantly pouring back in other people's lives,
Yeah.
especially younger generations that need that guidance. And so it's just a blessing what you all are giving back to Picayune, where you went, because you could have went anywhere. A lot of people don't stay around, they're not looking to come back, they are looking to leave, but you
Yeah.
all made a choice to stay and to take go into careers that are the ones that give back, and like I said,
Hmm.
pour into the youth.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I think, both of our major mindset. That's one of the reasons I do love coaching as much as I do, is the service to the next generation, and always trying to give someone something that I don't feel like I had or I didn't understand well enough. And like you said, in trying to inspire and motivate people to be better people than what they are. And my big thing, especially with the sports itself, is of course, I want great soccer players at the end of the day. We train very hard, we train all the time, and whether the boys, love me all the time or not, that's here nor there. But the whole goal I have is to get the most out of them and to create good people at the end of the day. I could
Mhm,
care less if you're a great soccer player, but if you're a good person, that matters the most to me. And 9 times out of 10, a good person will be a great soccer player. If you're
mhm,
willing to do what you need to do when no one's looking, or take the extra, step to better yourself, go the extra mile for the team, you'll do that in life, because that's just going to be grained into who you are as a person.
mhm.
And then we get those good people in society, and I think we definitely need more of that.
We definitely need more of that. So let's see. Let me put them up on the screen, since we're talking about these fine young men.
Oh yeah.
So you
Yep.
have to tell us a little bit about just the team, and how, what all did you do to get to where you are, because different things had to happen differently in order for
Yes.
you to get to this championship. So what did you bring to the table that was different to get these young players to the championship?
So first, I'm gonna start with this. Is obviously you got me on one side, but another gentleman in black there, Cody, right? My younger brother, who is also my assistant, and I cannot give him enough praise for how he stepped up this past season and helped lead the team and guide the team when I was having to be away with the college team. So there was days where it was just him, and he filled the role in. And I mean, I can't take all the credit here. He's definitely deserves a bunch of it as well. But the next three are the ones in between us. The one in the very center, that's Jake McQuinn. He has been serving as a team captain for 2 years now. This next year will realistically be his third year. Mason Rapole to his left, to my right, he's another captain, and then Dylan Garay, next to Cody, is first captain for. He's a sophomore, and so he's also one guy who's going to be sticking around. But all of these boys, we started the season off 1-4. So and that's really really difficult to start a season 1-4 and then try to bounce back from that. I know there's a lot of doubts, not only in the team, but even with myself and Cody at first. We were trying to figure out, hey, what are we doing wrong? How are we not doing the things that we need to do? Because 1-4 is not a good look for anybody. And then we just kind of took this approach of let's not worry about the record. Let's just develop the players more and keep pushing that. And everything is player first, player centered, and then expanding training sessions to work on top of one another and work a training session. Monday applies to Tuesday, Tuesday to Wednesday. And I know that sounds very simple, work that common goal, but you'd be surprised at how easy it can kind of change over time where you get into a rhythm and then training becomes lackadaisical. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about always trying to get them to be better. So every day is a competition. So we come in Monday. If we finish on one way, that might be how we start a practice on Tuesday. Say, okay, we finished here. Let's go ahead and just pick off. And that same activity we might only do for 5-10 minutes. And we just keep trying to build and build and build. And there's times where, we would only do one or two things for an hour and a half, 2 hours, but it's just to get good at that basic fundamental skill. And then we go through there. Um, a bunch of these guys are now juniors and seniors. They've gotten to the third round of playoffs last year, right? We've got to second round this year. We sadly lost to Long Beach in penalties in a very tough game. And I've said over many years now, the team who beats Long Beach will win a state championship. And we had our chance and we fell short. And Long Beach won a fourth one in a row. So I would say I'm not wrong quite yet, but we're definitely going the way we need to. But big time step ups from the junior class and even the senior class guys playing a lot more minutes, and all these boys have understood their role within the team. And that's one thing, is everybody wants the minutes, and I know everyone does, but not everyone can have them. So we fill our roles and we try to push and challenge each other, and I try to make the boys better in the same way they try to make me better. And everything's worked out at the end of the day. We've never had a losing season, and we've constantly progressed since I've been, the head coach. I think at the end of the day, right, that's kind of what it's about, is improving and, you know, helping teach these boys again how to be good people, but good soccer players at the same time.
Well, I think that approach was just really amazing, because as you was talking about that, I was thinking about how, people have said, Sunshine, don't worry about the numbers. You just do what you're supposed to do, and that you attract what you're supposed to attract. As long as you stay focused and do what you're supposed to do. And it sounds like the same concept that we need to take just in life in general, to stay focused on what matters, and then everything else is just going to find its way to us.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's with anything in life, just sitting there and not necessarily keeping your nose to the grindstone, but staying in your lane, making sure you take care of yourself in the sense of you're doing what you need to do as an individual, as a teammate, as a worker in whatever business. As long as you're doing right, the numbers will come.
The
Everything will
numbers,
come.
and the numbers came. And let me tell
Yeah.
you, Long Beach has always been a difficult
Oh
team
yeah.
to
Yeah.
beat. And so once y'all get the championship, they need steak dinners. I
Yeah.
mean, steak dinners, whatever they want, that's what they
Uh,
need.
no, and that's 100%. We get into district play, and the boys they turned it on the whole way. We go our first game against Hattiesburg in district. We start the game and we give up a goal within the first, I think, a minute, and I'm just sitting there befuddled that we got scored on by Hattiesburg, but we got scored on within the first minute, and I'm just losing my mind. I'm like, I I don't know how this has ever happened, and then we go on and score 6 goals tested throughout the rest of the game, or excuse me, 5 goals. Then we get to our next game, which is against PRC at PRC, and we beat them 3-0 at their place. Well, then we get a new school, Terry, which is out towards Jackson. They come into Picayune, and we beat them 2-0. Well, then we get to our hardest opponent within the district, West Jones. They have just come off a good season. This is the first time they're in our district. They're kind of the new Long Beach, for the lack of better terms.
Mm-hmm.
And we beat them 1-0. And it probably should have been 2 or more. Trace Moore had 1 goal disallowed, and then he immediately scores back within, I think, 45 seconds. And I'm a big believer in the ball doesn't lie type of mindset. So we win that game 1-0. We start the district season over. So we're going into the break 4-0. We come back, play Hattiesburg again. We beat them 4-0. We get Terry. We go up to Terry. We beat them 3-0. We play PRC. We beat them 4-2, which would put us 2 goals up. And I'm super, stitious. When we played on the first half, our scores was 5-1, so that put us up 4. 3-0, so that gave us our 3. 2-0, that gave us 2. So we're 4-2, 3, and 1, or 4-3, 2, 1, and then we come back and we go 4-0, 3-0, 2-0, and then we get to West Jones. And at that point, we were already, 7-0 in the district playing our last game. We were very excited, but at the same time, we were very cautious going into playoffs because we didn't want people hurt. We go into the half up 2-0, or maybe it was 2-1. I think it was 2-0. Boys are really excited, and then we get a call that PRC, who was kind of our main possible contender in splitting a district, having to go to tiebreakers, that they were losing 4-0. And at that point, it actually kind of hurt us because the boys just switched off, and then we end up finishing the game 3-2, with West Jones coming back within 2 goals within the last 3 minutes. So they definitely earned the win, but our mentality kind of switched off there. But we win the district championship all the same. At 7-1 is absolutely fantastic. Would I want to be 8-0? Yeah, right, because there's always room for improvement. But I'm definitely happy with what we got.
That's amazing. And it also goes right on back to say what we did. Like, it looked like you were going to be on the losing side because you started out, in that area, and then y'all bounce right back. And just in life, sometimes it looks like you're the one that's losing. Everybody around you, they're winning and they're going higher and doing more. But don't lose hope. Like, get in there and do your part, and you will win. Like, you already have it inside of you, everything that you need in order to get the championship, So that is very encouraging, especially when you started out with a poor record, especially when you started out getting, scored on in the first minute, and all of the other things that was kind of rising up against you.
Yeah, no, and I'm a very firm believer, and God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle. And at times we might not understand what we're being tasked with and why things are going the way they're going. But those moments and those things are made to mold you and to challenge you and to better yourself, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And sometimes you just got to let go and just follow the path and the road that it's going to take you down. Because as we all know, life in any circumstance is not easy. And just kind of giving over and letting God direct the whatever it may be at that time. For me, it was the team. For others, it may be work or just might be life in general. Just give over and just sometimes it's better to listen than to speak,
Now you done spoke a word. You about to preach up in here now, because that is a true statement. So I invited a friend, so we're gonna go to intermission and then we'll be right back.
All right.
Hang tight, my sunshine. Conversations with Celena. We'll be right back. Hey, sunshine. So,
Oh, lovely.
oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. I told Sean, you know your mama been a soccer mom a long time, but it's just some things I'm still not sure about. So, come on with our buddy. I can't call
Yeah.
him his nickname. He might get mad at me, but I love
What?
calling him by that nickname.
Baby boy.
No, it's something that you eat.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know that one, but he my baby
Yeah.
boy.
So welcome, welcome. For those of you who do not know, this is Sean. Sean and Brandon are great friends, like best friends. And if you could and if you could see, one is vanilla, one is chocolate. So I call one of them my chocolate baby and the other one my vanilla baby. So here we go. All right, Sean, welcome. What do you have to add, or what would you like to say? I don't know if you heard the introduction,
Yeah,
but I
I
want
was
to let
listening.
you know that all of the things that Brandon has accomplished lately with the soccer team, with graduating and just going from one club to another, being not just a player, but now the coach of PRCC and Hattiesburg Football Club and Picayune Memorial High School. Like those are a lot of accomplishments for your friends. So what do you have to say?
I'm super proud of him. Just love to congratulate him, man. Especially since it's been a while since Picayune has won district. It's been a long time. District champs is a huge milestone, and for you to do it in such a short time as your time being coach, man, I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. I know how hard you work. I know how much research you put in, how much you study the game, and hey, mama, and it's just great to see you do so well in something that you love, and I couldn't be more proud of you.
Oh, thank you. It helps, being that you and Britain laid a lot of that foundation and that groundwork for me for so many years while I was gone and in the Marine Corps. So that side of things, taking easy over is easy when you're following in good footsteps. So that's
Um, so Brandon, do you see we representing though for you
yeah,
see
yeah,
it?
Yeah.
yeah,
I
Uh,
mean, I got on lipstick, headband, everything. I'm rocking and rolling with my maroon. Jashawn
yeah.
got on a maroon tie shirt. I couldn't find mine.
Yeah,
mhm.
no, well, mine is black, but I'm also wearing one. I was trying to find some of my new stuff, but it's all being in the wash right now. So
Yeah, that's all
yeah,
good. That's all good. So, Sean, like I said, I don't know how much you caught, but Brandon was just saying that, they first started looking at the numbers and then they decided just to focus on the development of the team,
Mhm.
help them to be better players. And then the numbers just fell in line. So we were just talking about how just in life we need to apply that for every situation to stay focused, do what you're supposed to do, and the rest you're going to attract. So the wins started to come easy when they just started to focus on, the skills
Mhm.
and the repetition of the
Yeah.
skills. Like do it until you get it, and then we'll move on to the next.
Yeah. I do like that approach. I do like that mentality because I know, especially with our practice sessions, it was always, practicing to get prepared for the game. Trying to get in that mindset instead of it just putting them in situations where you just hit the grain or just on that grindstone repetitive over and over and over. And then when it comes to game situations, it's not a game situation. This is just what I've been doing. So it's just as simple as breathing. It becomes second nature. When the ball is here, I do this. When it comes to me, I do this. And it's just that repetitive nature over and over and over where, now the skill set is there, the mindset is there, and it's not, I'm in a game situation. Now I got to flip a switch. The switch has been on the entire time.
yeah. No, and that's a you hit the nail on the head. Is the kind of center point of all of our training sessions now is game like repetition.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter if it's small sided or large scale stuff, it is put the boys, like Sean said, in game like situations. So when the game comes, it's like you said, breathing. It's hey, you know what's going to happen. You know what you need to do, and now you just execute because that's
Mhm.
really what it comes down to is executing or not. Because we're by far, I would argue, one of the better teams in the state now, especially bumping up to 6A, and for us to hold our own and did what we did, especially in the back half. I think we showed that. And I'll be the one is, like I said, is I'm still chasing, kind of, I don't want to say recognition for the boys, but definitely recognition at the same time, trying to show people, hey, this team is a quality team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm part of that my reasoning for saying so is we do look at the statistics from games and whatnot, and I do break things down by numbers, and that just helps us focus on the training aspects and making it game like. But one of our things against Long Beach, right, is our possession. We're sitting at 53.9%. Long Beach is at 46.1. And if you would have told me we would have more possession than Long Beach 5 years ago, I would say you're lying because it just never happened. Um, we had 133 successful passes to Long Beach's 98. So we're controlling the ball and we're moving it more. 13 free kicks to Long Beach's 11. Our successful pass rate, of course, we had more uh, passes made, but our successful was 133. That's 51% to Long Beach's 196 attempted with 98 made. That's 50% to them. So the numbers game, at least in that aspect, to me has always been big because I can look through and I don't want to say find the weak link. Cannot speak for a second, but we can see where we're improving or where we're not, and how we need to go about fixing that. So that is a big part of that is taking this information given and then with our kind of plan of attack for training sessions, taking both of them, gelling them together, and then trying to make the best training possible.
So are you still going to be the coach for this upcoming year?
Yes, yeah. I will still be coaching Picayune. And that's a lot of people have asked me that question, knowing that I'm 14 different places at one time. I will still be in Picayune, and I'm very excited to see what we can do. We are losing a lot of players, 5 or 6 seniors from this class. One of those being of like Trace Moore. He's been around a long time, but he scores 17 goals this year, so he was our leading goal scorer. So that's it's always hard to lose that, but we have so many more kids who can do that and then some. And I see it, and I saw it all this year. And one kid being like Mason Rapole, one of the captains this year. Uh, Last season, what did we just play? 23, 24. So the 22-23 season, he scored 17 goals. And then I moved Trace up there with him, and he definitely took kind of a backseat in the goal scoring aspect. But when they're playing together, he can kind of do that because we're still getting the output. We're still getting goals scored. And now he's going, instead of scoring 17, he's scored, I think, 9 or 10, but then had, 11 or 12 assists. So he's still producing.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I am very excited for next season. I definitely keep thinking the next step now, right, is South State. Let's get to that South State game. We've been one step away for the last 2 years, and to go out on penalties this year was absolutely heartbreaking. But to go out on the team who won state in penalties, against us, I think that just shows the quality of team we have and the quality that the team is building. Because now I'm getting texts from all these different schools and coaches who are going, "Hey, let's get a game, let's get a game." Who 2 years ago weren't saying that, So we're starting to get the respect, I guess, for the lack of better terms, that these boys deserve, and it is nice to see.
Yeah, and those numbers are impressive too.
Huh?
Those numbers, the stats, they're impressive to have like tangible evidence that our boys are playing well against decent, like fairly strong competition.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to see that.
Well, and that's a part of that is throughout the season for each game I set goals, and it's kind of just general goals. But a part of that was, of course, winning, right? And then we want to shoot more than 15 times, right? Because if you're taking shots, that means you're taking opportunities and you're finding yourself in front of net.
Yeah, you're creating
Uh,
chances. Yeah.
yeah, our time of possession has to be greater than the other team's time of possession. And then our successful passes in the opponent's defending third is more than their successful defending in their defensive third. So we're attacking better than they're defending pass wise. So those, little things help kind of just guide. And I can look and say, okay, like for example, November 28th, we played South Jones. We beat them 4-2, but we did not actually accomplish any of those goals. And it's crazy to say, hey, we won 4-2, but we didn't do that. But then we play Hattiesburg the next December 1, and we take 25 shots. We have 29 minutes worth of possession. We have 40 successful attacks in the attacking third. And so we can see this. And then we go to Long Beach, and our only thing against them is we have 31 minutes worth of possession where they have 27. So it's getting there, and we can take, like Sean said, tangible evidence and go, hey, this is what we're doing. This is not me just as a coach going, I think we need to work on this. It's not I think, it's I know, and here's the evidence. And
Mhm.
it helps guide the process along. Boys buy into it. I share the reports each game, go, this is what we need to work on, this is how you did. And they can go in, they can click their name, and they can see every action that was deemed markable by the software, and they can go through and see how they played. So it just makes it that much easier.
Yeah, to keep them involved and stuff like that, and help them
Yeah.
keep track of what they got going on. Because really and truly, like, all right, like I know it's gonna sound weird, but basically, once you become a student athlete, that athlete part is low key a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
It pretty much is. So to be able to go back, look at your numbers, and see this is what I'm producing, this is what I'm contributing to the team. Some may feel like, okay, I may not be contributing enough, and I think that's just where you have to be there to encourage them. Like, look, the numbers got to come up.
Yeah.
If you want to produce, this
Yeah.
is what you need to improve on, and hopefully, they don't get discouraged. It's more like, okay, this is what I need to improve on, and then, of course,
Yeah.
being the coach that you are,
Yeah.
we get in there, get in them training sessions. Now those numbers improve. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's good to see that, and I'm glad, because. Like I know with us, like we had to do a lot of just like looking up on Max Prep and stuff like that, and like
Yeah.
times have changed so much is that those tools and that information is so much more easier to access now and keep
Yeah.
track of. So I do like that. I do like to see
And
just
that's the
how much
crazy
it's
thing
grown.
is like Max Preps, right? When we played that, Max Preps was a big thing.
Mhm.
Max Preps now is like irrelevant.
Yeah.
And we use this huddle software, and I mean, I can go through and I can find every goal, every attacking moment, every shot, every save, every corner, and I can just select that and go, okay, like if I want to work on set pieces, I'll go look through every single one of our set pieces. What went well, what didn't, what did the
Mhm.
team look like? And
Yeah.
I can go and break all that down, and we can go, Barney style, step by step,
Mhm.
and get it sorted, and it
Yeah.
works.
Well, I know that you had said for a backup, a lack, there I go, messing up the words, for a lack of better words, respect.
Mhm.
But it also is encouraging for me because I know as a parent at the school, it's like certain sports are highly supported. I'm gonna put it
Yeah,
like that. Certain programs are highly supported, and soccer was just not one of those. And so, if you have people reaching out to you now, and you're able to say the numbers, and you have the championship under your belt, it's like now you really are making a name for the teams, or the boys are making a name for themselves, and you
yeah,
are right there working along with them so that things can change. They have to change because I've seen how hard soccer players work, and it just breaks my heart that the stadiums are practically empty.
yeah. And that's one thing, right? Is my mindset is I'm a servant to the boys in more ways than one, right? Is as a coach, I serve them to get them better. But on the public outreach side is I'm constantly trying to get the community involved. And this year is you could tell from the beginning of the season to the end is the involvement from the community coming to watch games. It just grew and grew and
Good.
grew and grew. And at the end of the game, or with our game against Long Beach, it was not necessarily a packed house, but in soccer terms, and what kind of soccer's been viewed within the town is definitely much better. I would argue it was more or less packed. Now we sit on both sides of the stands. Um, so Long Beach's side, the visitor side was filled pretty well, and our side was to match it because it is hard when you play a team, especially at home, and you've got 10 parents there, and then the opposing team's got 30, and it sucks. But we have such a good core group of not only players but the parents that come with that, and they get everyone involved, and they're saying, hey, come watch my kid, come watch the kids. And no one is selfish about their own player, right? Is That's one thing I am very blessed that I've never had to worry about, is someone being so devoted only about their kids. Is not only is it me and Cody who are devoted to the improvement of the team, the parents and the community so far, and everyone who's really involved is very much involved, and they're
Mhm.
all trying to again be a catalyst to make the program even better, to excel it to new heights that it just hasn't got there quite yet, but we're on that path. And that's something I think I've enjoyed most of all, is the journey to getting to where we need to be.
Well, I'm glad you ain't. I know you're glad not to have Big Mouth Mama over here, cause oh, child, I'll be.
Look, yeah, come down, come to a game.
I sure will. I'll be right out there screaming. Don't even know what I'm screaming about, but I will be screaming. So Sean
Yeah.
and Joshua, they're gonna have to give their mama another crash course, because the hardest thing for me to get, Brandon, is that offsides. When I hear parents calling offsides, I'm like, how did y'all see? It's so much going on with the ball and so much running and so much
uh,
work. I don't even know how y'all see the offsides the way that y'all see it, because next thing
Once you know what you're looking for, it becomes
Yeah.
really easy.
You have to know which
ball,
which two players to look for. You have
Yeah,
to know which two, because it's the second to last defender. So
Yeah.
if that attacker is behind that second to last defender, before the ball is played, he's offsides.
yeah, yeah.
So, but that means it doesn't mean that it's the goalkeeper specifically.
Yeah, it's
A
just the
defender
second to
is the
last.
second to last player. So the goalkeeper can come up and the center back can go back there. And if somebody is between him and their center back when the ball is played, he is considered offside. So it's the second to last player.
Yeah, which can be very confusing, especially to younger players who go like, "Oh, the goalkeeper ran out." Or it's like, "Well, yeah, he's out, but center backs dropped down." So it's fun though. No, I think one of my very fond memories, especially about growing up and playing, is we were playing in a tournament somewhere, and I didn't know you were there. I knew, of course, I knew Sean was there, but I just heard someone screaming, and I was like, "Who is this just yelling?" Sean's like, "Oh, that's my mama," because it was very supportive things, but I was just trying to figure out like what was going on. I thought you were fighting someone.
oh Lord, that is funny.
Yeah,
And I miss those times. I look forward to it, and I remember being out there on a walker. You remember them helping me walk? Like, I'm determined to get to the game. And y'all worked so hard that I knew I wanted to be in the house, however it went, bundled up, whatever I needed to do to try to get there. I wanted to be there to support not only my kids, but the team, because those boys just come up and give me a hug. Like, they come into the house stand. Only the strong survive the house, though. Most of their friends, like, I cannot deal with your mom. And I was not considered Miss Sunshine back then, but the strong survived. And so I'm so thankful for the ones that continue to show up for us, because it just makes your heart warm to know that you're cared about and that you're loved. And those boys are just amazing.
yeah, no, and it's very funny because I'll see kind of representation of myself or Sean or like guys I played with within the new group, and then at the same time they're so much different. It's they're like us, but they're not like us in the slightest bit,
Hmm.
which it makes it fun. Especially being that like I've got a coach. Like the youngest age group I've coached was 9-year olds, and then the oldest age group I've coached were guys older than me. So it's so different but so enjoyable at the same time going from group to group and
Hmm.
trying to see the different skill level and but also seeing how what this 9-year old doing is realistically the same thing as this 34-year-old. It's just one's grown and one's little, and that's realistically it, but they play the same game and they both love it for the same reasons. um and it's fun. I argue I've got the best job in the world. I'm just someone who gets paid to do their hobby. And
Hmm.
I think that's kind of everyone's goal in life is to get to that point. So
Yeah, to do what they love. Now, you juggled a lot. And so over here on Conversation with Celena, we always trying to learn how to be better. Like,
yeah,
the competition is not the person to the left or the right, but it's the
yeah,
man in the mirror.
yeah.
So give us just how did you manage to coach all these people, go back to school, still be a husband, still be a son, still be the dad of some fur babies and a cat. And it's like, how did you juggle all of that?
Uh Realistically two ways, right? Patience and grace. And
Woo, we better get to praying, y'all. We better
yeah,
get to praying.
I can't ever really thank Amy enough for being patient with me. Because there's definitely times where even I felt I was never here. Being that I would drive an hour to go to school, I would have club practice after that, or I would have to drive home and go straight to high school practice, while of course trying to do my degree and juggle all these different things and wear all these different hats. But my thought process in that is coming out of the Marine Corps, if I just sacrificed a year, 2 years, or even 3 and got my name out there and did everything I needed to do and become a better version of myself and solidify my resume and help grow it, then 5 years from now or 10 years from now, we can be calm, relax, and just enjoy life.
Mm-hmm.
So while I'm young and relatively healthy, I want to try to push as much as I can. And I'm lucky enough that I've had, friends and family, and like I said, Amy, and even the dogs and the cat at this point, who all have worked with me. And at some point, worked for me as well to just help me get to the next level and juggle all my stuff. And like I said earlier, right, Cody stepping up and filling in as some head coaching spots here and there for me. It's Amy's helped me out with schoolwork. My parents have helped me out with schoolwork. I've got great friends who like if I need it, or like, hey, I can't make my club session tonight. I don't want to cancel it. Can they hop in with your boys, or can we get it sorted out with it? Hey, yeah, send them on. People, like help each other, right? And that's what we should do at the end of the day is help each other.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't have to compete with anybody. I'm definitely going to compete with myself though, and I try to be my biggest driving factor. Just the other day, I was at the college and we got done with lunch, and I was like, oh, I need to go run. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go do a fitness test. So you go from the 18-yard box from one edge of the 18-yard box to the other end, and you have to do it 25 times in less than 4 minutes. And I got to about 15, and I think I was right at 4 minutes, and I was like, I'm not making it. I can't make the time. And I was like, but you know what? I'm not going to quit. So I'm sitting there as I'm running, absolutely miserable, telling myself, come on, don't quit, don't quit, don't quit. Said if I'm going to expect other people to do this, then I need to be the one doing it as well. I think I ended up making it in about 6:10, but I was just happy that I finished. And that's realistically in life kind of what I'm happy I'm finished for the most part right now, but there's always something next. And that's I think what I'm most excited for is kind of the what's next.
The what's next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is to think like that's not something that you learned to do recently. I think like you've always had that mindset because I know like even like just to be in that mindset, to be a leader, to be there for others. I know, like, even when I joined during our preseason sessions, if you would finish your 2 mile run and then you going back to get others to encourage them to keep pushing through their run. So you've always been that leader, always been that captain, always been, I'm here for my team, or I'm here for whoever I'm working with. We're in this together, and if you're struggling, so am I. So let's let's do this thing and get it done. So it's always, I think that's something I've always admired you for, and it's good to see that it's even now you're still putting that into practice. So and as you can see, it's paying off. So
yeah, well, that's I had to jump in the session with the college boys yesterday, and that whole mindset of like, let me lead from the front was definitely hard, as because those boys are in way better shape than me, and they're way better players than I am now.
Mhm.
And but I got me a couple goals, and I was okay with it. I did my job. But that's no, and realistically, right? Like, I know exactly what you're talking about, and a part of that was Cody was at the end of that list. He's in the back of the pack, so I was like, all right, I
Uh-huh.
can't have him back there. But
Mhm.
no, I think it's been a kind of engraved into my body is help people out, and I think that is one of my greatest attributes, but also greatest flaws. Is I would much rather help other people before I start helping myself. And it works at sometimes, but it is also against me and others. But sitting there and showing people I'm willing to do everything that you're willing to do, and then I'm willing to help you grow in whatever way you can, rather it be as a coach or now, or as a player back then. That's to me, I take a lot of pride in that.
Before I read Brandy's comment, I just want to say, yes, you have always been that person that Sean described ever since I've known you, but you have been such an amazing friend, not just a leader in soccer, but just amazing friend to not only Sean but Joshua. Like it just amazes me because most of the time the little aggravating brothers, you want to leave them behind, but y'all would take Joshua as well. I'll probably be like, I don't want to hear her mouth. Let's just JT, come on. And then it just became like he was the same age. I don't know. It was so
Yeah.
weird. Before he was like the little brother, and all of a sudden he sprouted on up and he seemed
And
like
then now he's 6'4" and yeah, a man. And
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I think it's easy with, and I at least I'll speak for myself on this, and I imagine Sean's kind of in the same boat as I am, but it was the same way with Cody. Is seeing them, and I'll tell you, I look at this as a coach's standpoint. Is the younger brother is always going to be the better player, and I truly believe it, and I've seen it too many times for it
Mhm.
to be wrong at this point. But seeing JT and seeing Cody, as when they could not kick a ball but 3 yards, going to being both, you know, college players and doing great things.
Mhm.
I kind of always had the idea that, hey, they're going to be better than us, and so they started their soccer journeys way earlier than we did. uh let's get them involved as much as possible while we're still around to get them involved.
Mhm.
And rather it be going to, like, we went to one of the women's national team games, like that was fun. um Taking the boys to tournaments, like just doing whatever you have to do, and of course coaching them at the high school. It's like you
Mhm.
really can appreciate their growth, especially from at least our end of the field.
yeah, from
Mhm.
the big brother standpoint. You see, your mama said keepers don't run.
Hmm. Oh yeah, well that's, look, now Cody would like to run all day now, but when it's soccer related. But yeah, they Cody would definitely fail a fitness test or two. That's for sure.
So Brandy said, I know nothing about soccer, but am very encouraged to hear soccer is up and coming in the Picayune area. She lives in Indiana.
Okay.
More so with such dedication to the players and expanding the community. I have a grandson that has taken notice of the game, and it's great to hear that it's a solid option in the area. Blessings to you and your journey and growth. Thank you for your presence in the lives of our youth, bringing forth positivity, direction, encouragement, and new opportunities, showing them strength and leadership. Thank you so much, Brandy,
Thank
for
you.
your comment. That was amazing. And if you're on your phone, I know that was a lot to type, but you did it and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
I did like that comment because I read it as you were and Brandon were talking. I will always push soccer as far as an extracurricular, especially in Picayune, just because me and Brandon both went to Picayune High School. I feel like since we've been in high school, because that was like what 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Football was definitely, if I just had to be honest, it just didn't seem like it created a whole lot of opportunities for students. Um, with soccer, you had the JUCO level, you had university level, and then you even had semi-pro level. There was a bunch of outlets as far as playing soccer than what a lot of people realized. And the more you know, the more opportunities there are. I feel like the sky is the limit when it comes to playing soccer. There's so much that you can do with it, and there's a lot that you can learn and experience as far as working with teammates, learning about different cultures because you meet people from different countries and stuff like that. And it's just to me an unbeatable experience.
Mm-hmm. Very
So,
diverse too. What was I about to ask you? Oh, y'all. Okay, so soccer players. I don't know about any other sport. I just know about soccer players. Y'all are addicted to soccer. Like I used to be thinking y'all going doing something. Where y'all at? Soccer field. What y'all doing? Playing soccer. Where y'all,
Yeah.
where y'all about to go? To the soccer field. It was always about. Is that my,
no, that was me. I'm sorry.
oh, it was always about soccer. And I just could not imagine, like, what is it about that game that just draws you in? Because I was screaming all the time, stop kicking that soccer ball up in here. Because everybody about to set something up, knock something over, kicking the soccer ball in the house, forever dribbling the ball. And I'm just like, Lord, y'all driving me crazy.
We broke the garage door because we used to shoot at it.
Oh my God. They made, I had
it was so many dents. Because we knew it was wrong, but it's just the perfect shape.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, bro, just one time, just to see if I got it.
Yeah.
And I did, and you can see the dents in the garage.
$700 later, I had to get another garage door. It's just like
it's addicting. You couldn't stop. You just could not stop taking shots at that garage door. It just looked too perfect,
man. Oh, she's thinking I was shooting at the garage.
No. At my place.
That's
that's Sean and Joshua done tore up my garage door.
Yeah.
The love for the game for me is if you could take, like, I guess tic-tac-toe or something and then make it 4D, where you have a surface level of it's the sport itself, right? I enjoy the fast-paced nature of the game, but then I enjoy the creativity that it brings, the competition that comes with that creativity, especially at the professional level, guys just going, I'm better than you and I'm going to show you. And then some of the moments that come with the sport itself, like, one of the big ones with the Premier League is Aguero winning the Premier League. What was that, like 2011 maybe, or 12? I could be wrong, but they score, like a 94th minute winner in overtime and beat Man United out on not penalties but points, and the whole stadium's erupting, and people are during that game or watching Man United's games on the phone or listening to it or trying to figure out what the score is, and they realize Man United's won and they're like, oh, we've lost. But then you come back and rally back and win it. Like, to me, it's there's certain feelings, if you could capture them right and sell that feeling, there would be no more drugs, because people would just go off of that. And the game has the highest of highs but also the lowest of lows. It's when you win a big one or you score goals, it's just like, it's awesome. But then when you lose, it's like, I never want to do this again, but I'll be back here at 7 a.m. tomorrow doing it again.
I think for me, especially what got me hooked, because whenever I started playing, it was because I was playing FIFA Street on my PlayStation, and I was like, "Bro, this looks fun. I want to go try this." So my favorite player to watch growing up was Neymar Jr. Love seeing the skills, love seeing all that stuff. And then going to Friendship Park playing with the Mexicans, you do a little roulette spin on somebody and you hear, ooh, and that was it. It was over. I was hooked. Hook, line, sinker, man. If I could get that praise all the time, anytime I do a skill, I'm hooked, bro. You gassing me up. Now this is all I can do. I can't do anything else except this. And it's so crazy to realize, like, you go from playing from 5 o'clock, like right as everybody's getting out of school, you meet at the park until the lights turn out at 10 o'clock. So we're out there all night playing, and you just come back out, do it the next day.
Yeah, no, I think it as well as there's an addiction in the progression.
Yeah.
And getting better, not only physically and with technically, but also the tactical mindset of it is like, you start playing, like, I know for me at least, when I first started playing, I came from a football and like hockey background.
Yeah.
It was so hard to compete and see things like you're saying, like offsides, for example. And I remember my first game, I got put in. We were playing a little, I don't even know what we called it back then, but it was like just a showcase game. You know, you were playing 30-minute, 40-minute games, 20-minute halves. And I get put in against Poplarville, and I'll never forget it. I'm a sophomore at the time, and I'm real excited. They put me right back. And before Britton's sitting there talking to me, hey, do X, Y, and Z. And I'm just like, I was so nervous, but I was like, I get to play. And I remember Chad Porter is the center back, and I come in. Chad's like, hey, just listen to me. You'll be fine, okay? And I was like, yeah, I got it. And ball starts coming down the left wing, and I step out, and Chad's like, press him. And I go to press him, and I just kind of like, I line up like I'm a football player, and I get square with him, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to, stop you here. And well, he megs me, and he runs by me, and I'm like, oh no. And then thankfully, right, I have Chad to come bail me out. Mm-hmm. So it's, it was one of those things is like, I was like, one of those moments is here we are, 12 years later, and I still remember that and thinking to myself, all right, like, I don't want that to ever happen again. Yeah. So I need to learn how to make it not happen. And, I think I played in maybe my first year, like 3 or 4 games, nothing at all. And I'd be sitting on the bench and I'm just ready. And that was, it's just progression, like the love of the progression. What's Amy saying?
I always share with my students about how our soccer program is going at the high school and how it's something to look into as they approach junior high. Exposure is so important. Kids in the community go with what they see or know, and typically it's football, and that's okay too. I just like to see kids who may never play possibly develop skills earlier on and do a sports change and really thrive there. So thanks for always doing those soccer day camps for the kids. They love it.
Yeah.
Hey, beautiful. I don't know if you was on here when we started, but I asked about you. I see guys of all nationalities at the parks here. I agree. Like they are soccer addicts. I mean, parks, schoolyards, empty lots, etc. If it keeps drugs away from the youth through the sports addiction, I gladly hand out some soccer balls to youth and young men.
Oh yeah. And that's like I said with Britain is you just need one person to act as that catalyst for an area, and I'm in talks with a few other individuals around the kind of Pearl River County area about getting something going here in Picayune that is better than what we currently have, and really trying to elevate the general level of soccer here and the view that soccer here is. So I can't say anything on it right now besides, we're looking into things and we're trying to do all the logistical side of it and how everything would work out. But I think in the long run, right, when I'm gone and everyone else is gone, is it will have been kind of the starting point for Picayune and PRC and even Slidell to become more of the, not necessarily a soccer mecca, but definitely more well respected within the sport. And try to establish something that is going to help the general player level once it comes to high school and playing in high school, and those players will be more well equipped to actually play here and compete at higher levels, and you'll start seeing more boys get scholarship offers and go out to bigger and better schools. And then of course if you're a student athlete, right, like the goal is D1, so rather
Yeah,
it be coming from JUCO to straight to D1 or go, whatever you need to do. It's we're going to give you the best chance you got, because right now we have a better chance, but I don't think we have the best chance. So
yeah,
trying to set that up.
because at least when it comes to like playing like high level soccer, like select soccer, anything like that, you got to drive an hour outside of Picayune, either to
Yeah,
Hattiesburg or to Gulfport. So
yeah,
yeah, it would be nice to, have to keep people from doing such long distance travel, and then even if I feel like it will create more competition where now they're coming down an hour to play against Picayune, you know,
yeah,
and stuff like that. So I do like the idea of that, and I do really hope that that does become a thing, because I really do want soccer to become more recognized, more respected. Because I think a
yeah,
lot of people either just they're just ignorant of it, which is understandable, but
Mhm.
that's once you do learn it, it's just like a whole different
yeah,
world just opens up to you. So
yeah. No,
And
most
I have
people.
to say too, like, I'm sorry, I don't even know.
No,
Some
you good.
you already talk. Like for me, being a single mom, to know that my kids weren't out there in trouble, they were out there playing soccer. So I agree with Brandy. Like I feel like running out to the store right now, buying me some soccer balls, because I think that's a great idea to hand out soccer balls and let the kid spark their curiosity, like what is this ball for, and
Yeah,
learn how to play it at an early age. And so before we get off, Brandon, I want you to share how someone can join the program, try out, when are tryouts, when are the camps going to be, or how to become and encourage your kids to look into soccer, not always gravitate to basketball, football only. But I mean, both Sean and Joshua, they played everything, t-ball, basketball, because I wanted them to find what they loved. And I remember Sean was so cute out there at like 5 years old, 6 years old. And I was like, Sean, you gonna play soccer? No. I was like, what? I don't want to play that. And I messed with him. I'm like, you wait till you get grown to talk about how much you love soccer. And I tried to
yeah,
get you to play long time ago. And no, I don't want to do that.
yeah.
But Brandy says that sounds awesome. She's talking about your comment, Brandon,
Mhm.
and I see it coming forth. Your work has purpose and direction. And then Amy says, a devoted and passionate coach on and off the field. He genuinely cares for his boys and wants to get them to the next level. Doesn't even need to teach per se. He is a true coach and teaches the game from the ground up. It's really cool to see, and would be an awesome idea to hand out some and visit the elementary schools. I know. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's the your, I guess, question on trying to, like, how to go about it is definitely, like Amy suggested, is uh getting with the elementary schools and trying to go talk to them, especially when we do our little summer camps. No dates are official on that, but just general involvement in the sport. We is Facebook is a great thing. Like, realistically, Facebook is awesome when it comes to just kind of your local community aspect things. Within the Picayune area, right? You have the Pearl River Soccer Club, who are, it's definitely a good kind of starting place. They're, a good offer for people who are just trying to get into the sport. So it's a good kind of, like I said, beginning level, starting ground. If you live kind of more up to Poplarville, the PRCC, we offer what's called the Wildcat Academy, and those are kind of for little age groups. Um, and I don't want to misspeak, but I, for some reason, 10-year-old is sticking out of my like up to 10. And I'm trying to do a quick Facebook search because I know they just had it the other day. Uh, but that's beside the point. Is I can figure that information out at a later date. But
Yeah,
doing
just be
that,
sure to tag me too so I can share it and
yeah,
just help you share it and tag people.
yeah, doing that. Realistically is also just finding like club and select, like Sean was saying, and it is not the cheapest at times, and I'll be the first one to say that. I think America's kind of view on club soccer is more of a financial gain for certain individuals than it is always about the progression system, but you find one that fits your needs and then you can make it work if you want to make it work. And a lot of clubs do have a scholarship-esque program where,
Hmm.
like, I know I couldn't afford to play at GCU, and it worked out if that I didn't have to pay the full price because we worked towards a scholarship for me. And we do that all the time with other players with at HFC. And I know there's things at GCU, and it just keeps kind of progressing that way, which it makes it more affordable because you go to a lot of these other countries and they don't charge you to play at the club or select level, which I think helps promote the sport in itself. It's more financially available for people who can't afford it,
Mhm.
which at the end of the day, I think that's the biggest difference between why America's soccer is not on that next level where other nationality or nations like England or Germany, Belgium, like those teams, why we don't always kind of compare to them. Because you see our star players are those club players or who played club growing up. So I think
Mhm.
it needs to be a bit more available where a good option like the PRSC here in town, that's a good starting point. And then you can kind of figure out, does my kid like to do this? Or if they decide, hey, yeah, that's I'm for it, then you can look into the club. But Facebook's a good place. Even just going to one of the high schools, right? If you see me, you can ask me. You can, hey, what do you got going on? Is there anything my kid can come do? Or even if you want sessions, like we can work something out, or I can put you in contact with someone because it's life's all about networking. So if
That's the
you
truth.
if you know someone, you see someone, I mean, the worst thing you can do is ask and them say no. Like that's really it. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's talk to people. I mean, it's Facebook. I love Facebook in the sense of the communication aspect of it, but
Hmm.
it works out. But yeah, I would be kind of my main thing is find your local group and push your kid to it. Sign them up for a year, see if they like it, and I think kind of driving, especially the young ones, at it and let them get exposed to it and go from there. But hopefully, what we have kind of in the works out, and we can kind of go from there and really make, like I said, a difference and bring, like Sean was saying, the I don't know the word I wanted to use. Just having the town recognize the sport more and let it be instead of like so a kid going, "Hey, you want to play soccer?" No, I don't want to do that. I want to play football. It's like you can get a lot out of soccer too.
You can get a ton.
Don't get me started because soccer is the football. Like that don't even
Yeah,
football is called football anyway. Like
Mhm.
you kick it
yeah,
once. The
uh,
Yeah,
rest
I
of the
will.
game you're throwing it.
Because I
yeah,
can argue that soccer has the highest skill cap out of any sport. The only sport to me that comes closer to it is basketball. I think physicality and skill wise, soccer
yeah,
there's no getting any higher than soccer.
yeah. Well, I
Now,
mean,
granted, I feel like it has maybe one of the lower skill floors as far as like getting into it. It's more
yeah,
easily accessible,
yeah,
but to actually hit peak, yeah, it's probably the highest and probably the hardest to achieve because
Mhm.
we see somebody like Lionel Messi as our peak, and nobody can imitate what he does.
yeah,
It looks simple, but you can't imitate it. You can't. But it's a lot that you can do with it, and
Messy.
I
uh,
really do try to push that. Like, get involved in it. At least learn more about it because a lot more difficult than what you would think. Some people think it's just kicking a ball. Like, no, it is a thinking man's game. There's a lot of moving pieces. It's a lot that it's like, how do I want to explain it? Like, the best way I can really explain it is almost closer to checkers or chess. Like, you already need to know three passes ahead of like where you want to go. Like,
Yeah.
before the ball even gets to you, you already need to know where you want to go with it. So that's the game. So it's great. It's keeps you on your toes. It's an adrenaline rush. That's probably one of the main reasons why it's so addicting, because it's like I'm I'm in my fight or flight mode, but I'm enjoying it. So yeah, it's a ton of fun, and I will encourage anybody to play it if they can.
The
And I
Wildcat
can
Academy.
see the difference too in the players. Like, just I don't know, it's just something about soccer players. They work hard, they're respectful, and that's what Brandon was saying. Like, if you train them to be good people, they're gonna be good players. If they're good players, they're gonna be good people. Like, it just
Yeah.
goes hand in hand. So your wife has a question. What has been the most valuable lesson you've learned as head coach?
Valuable lesson. I would say, kind of going back to the point earlier, is just patience, and that's one that I need to have with people, and I need people to have with me, and just working with them and try to again look at training sessions and players and kind of imagine myself in their shoes and what I would do for them or what I would want done for me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just being patient and understanding that not everything things don't change overnight. You know, if you have an issue, you can address it, but then as long as you're working towards it, that's realistically what matters at the end of the day.
You're right. You're right. So, were you getting ready to read something off the screen for us
Yeah,
before we close out?
yeah. The I looked up the flyer for this Wildcat Academy, so it's actually in Poplarville. It's at our soccer complex at the college, but it's from March 5th to April 11th, and it's from ages 4 to 18. So it's definitely a good opportunity. Even if you live in Picayune, it takes me 24 minutes to get there. I've timed it multiple times, so not very far. But you can go to it's Mini Kicks Academy, so MINI Kicks Academy, and that will be able to get you sorted and set up. But they go Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. So that's if you didn't want to do the town soccer, that's yeah, exactly. Mini Kicks Academy. And that's just kind of the way to do it. So walk-ups are welcome. The women's assistant coach, he's the DOC of that, Carl. He's absolutely fantastic. Henrik, the women's head coach, he's also involved in it. So all the players at the college, they're also involved in it as well. So it works out. It's I think everyone there, especially the young ones, they have a good time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I just want to thank you, Brandon, for taking out time out of your busy, busy schedule and sharing with us like all the things that you have accomplished, how you've accomplished them. Oh, she said, enjoyed it so much. Thank you again, Sean. Nice meeting you. Also, your mom and I go way back before your day. Yeah, way back.
Yeah, way back.
Yeah, a long time ago. But so yes, Brandon, really and truly, it was such a pleasure to have you on here and encouraging, because I've seen the growth. I've watched you grow up, and just you've done so much, you and Amy both, in such a short period of time. And like Sean said, we are so proud of you. And I just can't even quit smiling. I was so happy
Yeah.
when I was texting you and you wasn't texting back. I'm like, what I do? I'm like, are you still coming? I had no clue you weren't feeling well. So I'm glad that you're doing better and was able to come and share what the future of the program looks like and the things that are upcoming and how we can get some more youth involved, because really and truly, as a single mom, I would recommend soccer to any and every child. Like, give it a shot. Don't not just one time either. Because Sean said no. Like, give it a couple shots,
Yeah.
a couple seasons if you have to, and see just if you're gonna love the game. Because if you're a true soccer player, you definitely love the game.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And that's, like I said, time will come with it. And especially if you're starting the game, maybe when you're a little bit older, it's tough at first because, like Sean said, the entry to the game is relatively low skill floor, but the skill jump is drastic, and especially the more time you put into it. So it can be a little daunting and nerve wracking at times, but stick with it, and then it's
because you'll be there before you realize. Like it's crazy. It is crazy to look back and really, because I remember like me and one of my friends were like, "Yeah, we're gonna try out," and we just happened to find a soccer ball in the garage. Went messed around a little bit. Went to trials, didn't make the team. I was so bummed out, and my mom saw, and so she was like, "Do you still want to play?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I do." So she signed me up for the rec soccer. I can't even think of the name of it right now, but the boys weren't playing at the time, so I had to train with the U12 girls. So hey, everybody got to start somewhere. So, but you see me, 6'2" black dude with all these little girls training. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting it in. So,
man, that's practice, dude. I remember showing up at the park and dudes from the restaurants would come out, and I'm like, "Oh, these guys are so good." And then one day, I'm like, "These guys aren't that good
anymore." Yeah, we're much better than them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is crazy to be able to look back at your own growth as a player and then pass that knowledge on to others and watch how they exponentially grow. Because like what Brandon was saying, like, you know, how our younger brothers became much better players than what we were, but to our credit, they would not be that good if it weren't for us. Yeah. I remember trying to teach Josh ball rolls in the front yard. He getting pissed off because he can't do it, so he want to kick the ball off. I'm like, bro, you got it, man. Let's keep it going. So yeah, I remember those days coaching a younger brother, trying to be
patience.
The patience. Oh my God, the patience. But
just learning at an early age. Man,
I wish they had soccer when Reese was coming up. He had a good soccer forehead. Oh my gosh, you talk about your son. Yeah, I remember those days of Joshua being so frustrated, man. Oh my God, I was just like, I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to deal with y'all, but they made it through.
Hey,
at one point, I remember Joshua telling Sean, "You do you, and I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna play football, and you do what you're gonna do." But
look, I gotta give Amy a lot of credit. Is when I went to try out for the team, I almost didn't go that day, and she talked me into it. So she can take all the blame for the soccer ever since then.
Oh, that's funny. Yes, indeed. Well, do you have any closing words, Brandon?
Look, thank you for having me. I've absolutely enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to doing it again. Hopefully one day. Whenever you want me back, let me know. And hopefully we can get all y'all, you, JT, and Sean down for a game or two next season at the high school. So
I need to get in shape. I need to get in the gym, man. Because what was crazy, because I just met some dude talking about how they play at the Sportsplex here in town, and that we have a Sunday league in Columbus. So I was like, well,
there you go.
I might have to get back on that horse again. I still got my cleats and my balls, so.
So you're gonna be like me and hurting all the next day.
Oh, bro, I'd be hurting just from walking up my stairs nowadays. But
on being a Ninja Turtle at the time, so Taekwondo was his choice. That's funny.
Listen, man, ain't nothing wrong with being a ninja. I used to want to be one.
Yes, indeed. I remember that. Dinner is ready, sir. So we ain't trying to get you in trouble.
That's my call to go.
Yeah, don't get in trouble while you're at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So listen, y'all, if y'all are here with me, we're coming right back, 7:00. We 1 minute behind, but it's okay. Brandy's son, the one that we're talking about with the big forehead that she said, she shouldn't be doing her baby like that. Look at her. See, she said it, Maurice, not me. But Maurice is coming back. If you missed him last week, we're just going to be talking about the easy Wilson way of getting yourself in shape, things that you can do, things that you can eat that is good for your body. Y'all know that we're doing F 2024. So there's going to be some episodes that's about food, fitness, finances, and so forth. You get the drift. And so come right back. I'm going to log off and then I'll be right back with Maurice. So thank you again, Sean, for joining your brother up there, and thank you, brother, for joining your brother down here. I enjoyed y'all as always, and we will definitely have to do this again.
Yeah.
All right, y'all go share a smile and spread some sunshine. Have a great night.
All right, Bob.
Bye.